Orks are having a tough time at the moment, and without much love in the balanced data slate, they are stuck in the third tier of factions. So what can they do? Looking first at the challenges they face, Armour of Contempt, probably the biggest hit to the army in that at least 50% of the meta benefit from this, and they lose 1 AP from their attacks. When the 9th edition codex came out, there was joy that the choppers got -1 AP. This has now been wiped away. 5+ ballistic skill. It's fun that orcs are rubbish at shooting, but actually it's a pretty big negative. High armour saves and few invuns. There's so much AP in the game at the moment that things can just melt away without any saves. So when building your list, this is the sort of things you want to look for. Anything with better shooting or better armour saves. Grots shoot at 4+ and Scorchers auto hit, for example. Invuns make a big difference, and now the War gives an army-wide one. This is amazing. And try guns with higher AP, as just weight in numbers isn't good enough against the good save that's in cover with Armour of Contempt. Something to start us off is why not consider the Opportunist Warlord Trait from the Death Skulls, as you can shoot characters that are within 12 inches. There aren't that many good HQs to put this on. The Big Mech with a shock attack gun is a great weapon, but doesn't really want to be up close. The best person for it is the Big Mech with Mega Armour, definitely wants to be up front. 2+ armour save and can have a 6+ invuln aura, and crucially has a 4+ ballistic skill. There's loads of gun options, including relic options, for making the most out of this character shooting. And while this isn't the best Warlord trait, it's perfect as an additional one. Brutal but Cunning is the best Warlord trait if you have a punchy, non-named character who has to take a specific trait. Consider the Beast Boss and Squigosaur with this. So some of the best HQs and how to use them. Already mentioned the Big Mech with Mega Armour, just because of that low save and lower ballistic skill. You got the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. Overall, fast and tough. It's got 5+ invuln, -1 damage. It buffs Beast Snaggers with +1 to hit. And when it's fighting with its scary melee, it's actually hitting on 2+. For only 25 points more, you can have Mozrog Scragbad and his Great White Squig. The Thump Gun is included, which isn't a bad gun. You get more attacks, more damage, a 3+ save, and a 4+ invuln, so actually that price is worth it. The difference with this guy is a named character. He has a specific Warlord trait he has to take, even though it's pretty good, which allows him to stand up when he dies. And out of all the HQs, I've got to mention Gazgul. He's probably an auto take for competitive lists. He's a hefty points investment at 300 points, who has a 2+ save, 4+ invuln, and he comes with 6 attacks at strength 14, -5 AP, and 4 damage. Also, as he gets hurt, his number of attacks goes up, and the killer bit about him is that he can only lose a max 4 wounds per phase. So anything he gets in contact with is going to die, and even better than that, he can call the Great War. And this is the standard and the speed war together. Well worth it because your entire army is going to get all those buffs. Also having him on the table is a bit of a distraction card effect, as most people be focus firing on him, trying to get those 4 wounds per phase out, and leaving a lot of your other deadly stuff alone. If you bring him and don't want him on the rest of your army as Goths, that's fine. The rest of your army just don't get the benefit of his reroll auras. Two of the best fast vehicle units to synergize with the speed war are the War Bikers and Death Copsers. They both get extra shots with attack weapons and extra AP in the war. They've got a 14-inch move. You get an additional 6 inches to move instead of advancing, so that means they can charge as well. So massive threat range from turn 1. And you can use ramming speed for 2 CP, which is 3d6 charge, and deal mortal wounds when you get in there. Both are pretty good shooty and punchy. Trucks are still great. They move fast at 12 inches, can transport your orc melee threat. They can also bring a bit of their own threat as well and can move block. The standard truck at 70 points, you can load a blob of boys and make them truck boys, so they can disembark and charge after the truck is moved. Also, while in the truck, it's shooting at 4+. For not that much more, the Battle Wagon does a similar job. It's only 105 points base. You can stack it out with loads of guns, obviously paying for each. For 20 points, it used to be a good option to put a 5+ invuln on it. Now with the War, it has 2 turns of an invuln. But the Death Roller at 15 points feels like a must-take. It gives the wagon a 2+ weapon skill, and pretty good melee with its 6 attacks. So take multiple trucks, one with the truck boys to offload turn 1, and the second to offload in the second wave, turn 2. Mega Knobs. Thinking about having more durable orcs, and these guys fit the mould. 2+ armor save, 3 wounds. They will last that a little bit longer, and they're only 30 points each. Consider taking these in the truck instead, and I find they just do a lot more work than knobs or boys. Commando is pretty unused, but actually a great squad. The 10-man squad is best as you can take it fully kitted out. You get a distraction grot for +1 to wound, an 8 deep strike, 2+ armor saving cover, +2 to armor saving cover, so that's 4+. You can take bomb squigs. You also want the Breach Ram and Power Claw for extra melee. So overall, with all those things, you've laid out 135 points for the squad. And in the War, that's 32 chopper attacks, 3 Breacher Ram attacks, and 4 from the Claw. Use them cleverly to be in cover for extra buffs. Knob on Smasher Squig. 65 points is so cheap for what this guy can do. If you have Squigog boys in your army, then you can take 2 of these without them taking up a fast attack slot. You have a 6+ invuln as standard, 3+ weapon skill, and +1 to hit against monsters and vehicles. As a Snakebite, it'd have Transhuman and +1 to wound as well. These attacks are good in the War. It's 5 strength 8 attacks, -1 AP, 2 damage, plus the additional 2 attacks from the squig itself, strength 6, -1 AP, 2 damage. So pretty scary, and then it has a nice trick on charging, rolling 5d6 to deal mortal wounds on every 4+. Should these mortal wounds actually kill the enemy you're charging, then there's a cool strat, Unstoppable Momentum for 1 CP, to allow you to then charge something else. Makes sense to run 2 of these together and try and pull this off. If you're running the Knob on Smash Squig, Squig Hog Boys, Beast Boss and Squigosaur, then consider having the Warlord trait Beast Gob, as it gives the squig attacks +1 damage. Really fast, I think this is the era of riding squigs. The Kill Rig recently had the points drop down to 190 points, and it does literally everything. Shooting, melee, psychic powers, you name it. It's a character, so in the War it can advance and charge. Ramming Speed can be used to give it mortal wounds in that 3d6 threat range. You've got 2 psychic casts, auto hitting Big Gun, and the Heavy Lobber is indirect fire, so actually hitting on 6s, which is a nightmare now. But with line of sight, it's still 5+, like normal. And there's a cool feature, you can use the Ground Shaker Shell strat for 1 CP, and that will halve the move characteristic of the unit you've fired at, and also give them -2 to their advance and charge. The melee is also decent. So taking kill rigs, and perhaps even multiple of them, is really scary, and consider taking the Beast Snagger Boys as they can take 10. For some good shooting and damage potential, you've got the Tank Busters. They've had a tiny points reduction, so they're only 16 points per model. You can take Bomb Squigs, which are ace. The best against vehicles with a 2+ weapon skill and 4+ ballistic skill. The Rockets give them range threat, strength 8, -2 AP and 3 damage. And one model in 5 can take a Tank Hammer. It can use this to trade its own life for d6 mortal wounds, but it's best to use that against a high value target, as d6 is pretty swingy. And a bit of a funny option from Forge World, but crying out for some kit bashing, it's the Grot Mega Tank. Fantastic vehicle for only 90 points. The key thing is just how much shooting this thing can put out without degrading its 4+ ballistic skill. For these points, you're getting 7 big shooters, that's 35 shots in Dakar range. But in the first round of the War, that's 42 shots at AP -1. I think it's really worthwhile loading out with the Scorchers instead, taking the cost up to 125 points. And then that'll give you 7d6 auto hitting shots. And crucially against Armour of Contempt will be on -2 AP. As a melee army, calling the War is absolutely crucial and should be getting yourself some first turn charges. Playing the Orks is all about pressure, and Ghazghkull gives that perfectly because it gives you the Great War. So all your vehicles and your infantry are getting there. Think about your buffing synergies, your invuln auras, and big AP shooting, as that one makes a difference in the meta at the moment. Hope you thought this was cool. Let me know how you play your Orks. See you again soon. Bye.